So Shia is the hardest boss right now in Monster Hunter Wilds. So I've been practicing it a lot in order to find every one of the patterns and every one of the moments where I should be dodging each of the attacks, what the positioning should be on those, and when I should be using my longsword abilities to evade these attacks. Of course, this video will also help a little bit in other weapons as well to know exactly what to do, but this will be mainly focused on longsword evade attacks. So, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, go to my Ko-Fi, if you want to support my content, go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning, and let's get into it. First of all, I made myself a little list of every one of the attacks from this boss and what you should be doing in each of the situations for longsword. I'll be playing each of the footage for when the attack happens and what type of answer it should have in the perfect situation. But the overall priority for longsword specifically should be prioritizing using a special sheath to EI and evade at the same time to trigger counter, adrenaline rush, and do more damage overall than Foresight. But you can also, as a secondary option, in case you're panicking and you didn't have enough time to special sheath, you can Foresight slash instead to dodge the attack or position yourself in a way that that attack does not hit you. First, let's start with the attacks that are not really infused, because the boss will have multiple attacks that are infused with fire, certain that are afraid with like the Wilk, you know, the dragon power, I guess you could argue. And these ones are just attacks that will indeed just, you know, be normal attacks with no infusion, with no after effect, anything. It's just, you know, a little grasp attack and that's it. The first one, of course, will be the grasp attack, as you can see right here. Now, this attack is pretty easy to actually evade, as you are seeing right here. Cheating it is no real problem, and even positioning outside of it is not real problem, so you should be probably prioritizing to indeed sheath it. That being said, it's kind of a quick attack, so you will have to be paying attention a lot for the arm to kind of slowly go back, as you can see there, to actually evade it at the correct moment. You can also foresight it anyways, and probably this will be what you're gonna be doing normally, as you're gonna be normally attacking, and suddenly you're gonna see that the boss is gonna be putting his arms back a little bit, and then you want should instantly, as you see no infusion on it, just Foresight slash it, or evade it if you're in another weapon. Our next one is going to be the uninfused swipe, as you can see right here. Same thing as before, very easy to actually evade it, doesn't do that much damage, you can just position outside of it, you can Foresight slash it, but of course you should be ideally EIing it. This one is way faster than the other one and kind of harder to actually pay attention to, so Foresight slash it is probably going to be the thing that you're going to end up doing the most, instead of sheathing it, because even with a quick sheath, it's just not gonna be fast enough, I don't think, unless you're very, very proficient at it. If you don't want to get hit by it by just positioning though, I would have recommend for you to go a little bit more inside of the hitbox of the boss, just inside, under the head, under the chin, just a bit more inside of it, that way it will not actually hit you. The next attack will be the arm attack, just a little stomp that he does with his one of his hands. You can see that he doesn't have any infusion in the actual attack. This one also is very, very fast. I would probably have recommend to Foresight it unless you know that something's gonna happen. You're ready on your quick sheath, because that happens very, very fast in the way that he puts his arm up and then punches you. So Foresight slash probably gonna be the best thing here. But just, you know, EIing it or going on the sides is gonna be something that is fine too. Let's start going for those big ones, the infused ones. These ones are kind of difficult, and we're gonna see this a lot in this video, is the fact that these attacks have a big delay. Not only the boss charges up a lot in order to actually go in there and do them, but also there's two hitboxes. One where he actually kind of punishes, you know, pushes into the floor, which honestly is not really a big hitbox. You most likely will not get hit by it. You should not really be focusing on evading it. But you also have the explosion of the power on the floor, which is the big thing you want to evade. Now there's a few options here. I would, you know, number one should definitely be an EI. You have so much time to special sheath in and just dodging it. It's kind of a hard one to actually evade though, as the moment where you should be actually dodging it and pressing the attack of the EI Spirit Slash is very, very weird. It's very, very difficult to actually learn, but it's definitely something you should be practicing. I'm gonna pause it right here. For example, there I did it too fast, right? You can see it right there. I'm just gonna go in there and do it again. You can see, okay, this one obviously was a Foresight slash, and we'll talk about it later why you shouldn't probably do that. But here we go. We're gonna go in there, and then you can see the exact moment where we unsheath Not yet. Look at that. There's been like the attack starting, like already starting. Oh, it's starting to cover the ground. Okay, here we go. And then, oh, just that moment, okay, where the explosion starts actually casting is where you want to indeed use the attack. Very, very late in the attack. You can barely see it. We're going to see the next one as well, just to have a different angle of the actual attack. Right here, we're going to, boop. Okay, no, yeah. You would think that it's at the moment, right? You can see the boss come almost like, kind of like, going up a little bit there. In the moment that it actually wants to do the attack. That's probably going to be the big tell that just a millisecond after you want to unsheath and do the damage, right? It's going to take you a little bit to practice it for sure, but you know, it's not as hard as it actually looks like. I would heavily recommend for you to just go in there, you know, attack Shia and just primarily go into special sheath until you can actually make it work correctly. Okay, so what other options do you have? Of course, you can just go inside of the hitbox. The attack, you have a lot of time. You can go into this, even in your sacred, and just get inside of the boss, like around this place right here, and you will not have any issues. You'll be able to just normally attack while you're waiting for the boss to actually do his attack, and you'll be fine. Foresight, as we saw before, is not really good, because not only, I mean, yeah, you can dodge it, I guess. It's not like the worst thing ever, especially if you're going for the red gauge. Foresight slash, but you can see that if you do it too early, you'll get hit anyways. And the thing about it is that not only you're losing stamina, but you're probably not gonna end up actually hitting the boss, as you're gonna be far away. So what you want to do instead, if you want to indeed Foresight instead, is turn around. All right, just, you know, I didn't get sadly a footage of this, but ideally what you want to do is just go in. You know, be ready for the Foresight slash, and then use your focus mode to turn back, and that way you'll jump inside of the boss or the hitbox of the boss. Not only evade the attack, also position yourself, even if you fail, by the way, into the hitbox so you can't get hit again. And also, because sometimes you would, like, you know, evade the first hitbox and then walk backwards and get hit again, right? Which is not ideal. But also actually do damage to the boss. So it is definitely possible to do this. It's more complicated than the Ice Slash, and the Ice Slash will do more damage, but you know, that's your decision to be made. Next, we have the Horizontal Infusion. Same thing as before, honestly. It's a bit easier because it's just horizontal damage that it does. You can see it right there. So it's easier to position yourself out of it. It's easier for you to Foresight slash it, as you can just, you know, go back. It's easier to EI slash it as well. It's not really a hard attack, but everything that we mentioned before is also applied on this one. Next one is going to be the Multiple Infusion attack. This is going to be very similar to the other ones, but it's a bit of it's weird. So yes, it infused the floor. And it has two hitboxes, but they're very similar. They're very close together. So honestly, as long as you just evade it at the moment of the actual hitbox happening, you're gonna be fine. The problem with this attack though is that it happens multiple times, as you can see right there. So you want to be ready to dodge every one of them. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna actually EI slash and nothing else? Well, if you EI slash and nothing else, you're gonna have to go for another one. You're gonna have to EI into Foresight or EI into EI, and EI into EI is a bit cursed because it is very fast how everything here happens. So I would probably recommend you. I actually didn't have any issues going into attack, Foresight slash, attack, Foresight slash. I didn't really have any issues while I was in red gauge. If you're in your yellow gauge, it's gonna be a bit difficult, right? You're gonna have to evade. But also, if you see that you're not ready to Foresight slash it or to EI slash it again, you can always just normally evade. Just dodge right and the hitbox of the attack right there, and you won't have any issues if you don't have if you see that you're not gonna make it, right? It will happen around at the very least 2 times, sometimes 3. I think I saw it happen 4 times one time in a row, right? So definitely pay attention to that, but it's definitely not the hardest attack to actually pay attention to. Positioning, it's a bit hard to actually dodge this. We're just, you know, kind of sitting around and just not being on the place that you think the attack is gonna be at, because the boss kind of moves towards where you're at in order to hit you. So be careful with that. Next one is going to be the infused swipe, just like what the swipe that we saw before, but this time it is infused. So the big part of the attack that you actually want to evade is not the actual swipe, but instead the infused explosion that happens afterwards, right there. Right, so for this one, yeah, you want to EI it. You can force a slash it, but it's going to be hard to attack the boss afterwards. EI gives you the dodge, gives you the movement, and it also makes gives you the damage, right? So just EI it. You have a lot of time to actually react to this. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Of course, it's going to be with the wing instead of the arm. So that's going to be the biggest tell, of course, other than the fact that it's infused to know that this attack is actually coming. You can indeed go inside of the actual boss hitbox or Foresight slash backwards, ideally, just like we talked about before, in order to be okay with this, right? But, yeah, no, it's just better to just EI it. I think it's just... It's good practice to be had, and it's gonna do more damage anyway, so just get into the habit of that. But if you panic, you can just dodge inwards and start attacking the boss normally. The next one is gonna be the one-arm attack with an infusion, just like you see here on the floor being infused. There's a few variants of this. One is like a bit more circly, and the other one that is like just essentially for a front attack, right, in the infusion. But they worked out pretty similarly anyways. I would not really worry too much about it. For this one, you can do any... Well, movement and positioning is probably not going to be the best unless it's the one where he actually goes forward. Then you can just move to the side. But if it's the big ball, yeah, probably not what you want to do, right? You're going to have to dodge it. Foresight or EI is probably fine for both. You have a lot of time for this, so heavily recommend EI instead. The next one is the fireball. Guys, don't be greedy, okay? Why would you want to be greedy? It's a huge fireball that explodes. Don't try and Foresight slash it. Don't try to evade it. Just don't, okay? There's no reason to do it. Just stand on the hitbox of the boss, just like there, you know, under his chin, so all those fireballs just fly away. You're able to actually hit the boss and have no problems. Now, of course, if you're in a situation where the boss is actually, you know, you're far away from those for some reason, just get into your sacred, run around, heal, sharpen, I don't know, do something while you're running away from these attacks, and try and get to the boss again, right? And speaking of the breath, here it is. The breath is a very hard attack to actually dodge. If you're very unsure about it, if you see that the boss is actually going for this attack when he's getting up and kind of looking down at you, get behind, get into the tail. You'll be able to do damage on the tail while you're waiting for this. Otherwise, you have a few options to evade this. You can indeed EI it. It's not the easiest thing to do. I actually could not get a recording of that very specific attack on the EI, but it will be right on that second, on that moment is where you want to EI it. So you want to be ready. You do have a good amount of time to actually prepare for it. You can indeed Foresight slash it as well. It will give you a better chance of doing it as it has a bigger evade window. So you can definitely start with that and then slowly go into an EI, situation there. That being said, guys, the fire that happens afterwards doesn't really hit you or do almost any damage to you. So just, you know, evade that one attack and keep doing damage. You will not, don't worry about it. Next, you have the charge. The charge is honestly very easy to dodge. EIing or foresighting, both are fine. Obviously, EI is going to be the priority, but it doesn't really matter. You have so much time to actually cast it. You have so much time. It's so easy to like actually hit the moment where the boss is actually getting close to you whenever you want to actually dodge it right there. It's just such an easy attack to actually dodge. Positioning, I mean, don't try and dodge this like with the normal way. Use the evade frames or you will indeed get hit. And unless you're in a sacred and trying to get away and you're very far away from it, it's probably not gonna end up happening. Okay, so think about that. Next are gonna be the screams. The boss does indeed scream every time he goes into another phase, so dodging this with Foresight slash or with EI, both are fine, especially because you have so much time to actually think about this. Is gonna be fine. It's gonna be great, and you want to do it so you end up, you know, losing you're just there, kind of like, oh, you know, I'm getting hit and I can't do anything about it. There's a few of them that are very fast, like just like the one that we saw right there. So for those ones, Foresight slashing is gonna be the best thing. So if you're not taking enough time, you don't worry about it. You can Foresight slash. It's okay. You can even evade it normally. But yeah, obviously EI slash is gonna be the best option every time. Now let's go for a bit of a different type situations. We're going through every one of the attacks, but there's a few things that are a bit different. For example, this special attack. This one in particular is a hard one to actually understand the first time you actually go for it. But essentially what you do is you go in, the boss is gonna fly away, and then there's gonna spawn this very specific rocks. You wanna destroy them with your pod, with any of the materials that you can see right there. You can try and, you know, grapple hook them with, you know, having your weapon sheathed, and then, you know, going into focus mode to pick them up and then starting to destroy them. As long as you destroy one of them that are close to you, great. After that, you can actually take this time to sharpen your weapon, to eat if you have to heal any of these things, and this will help you. The fire infused attack, just like the white one that we saw before, this one's kind of interesting. The boss kind of grabs one hand or two hands in order to infuse the floor with fire and make it explode. Not only will it explode once, but it also will jump, you know, make little fireballs come out of that attack that'll hit you again. So you want to be close to the boss. You want to, number one, almost as always, EI it. Okay, you have a lot of time to actually go and do this and actually special sheath, and by you EIing it, you'll go inside of the hitbox of the boss, be able to attack it and evade those small balls that happen afterwards. Of course, you can also Foresight slash it, but if you're gonna do that, special Foresight slash it, reverse it so you end up closer to the boss. And for the last attack, you have this little bite, this little chomp that he does. This one, you don't really have to do anything. It doesn't really knock you back at all. You can use it for a EI if you want, but I would just ignore it and just keep doing damage. Honestly, it's just such a useless attack to be worrying about. But there you go, it exists. Not waste your time. Ideally, you want to be faster close to the boss after this attack happens, so you're able to start your attacks afterwards instantly. There's another attack just like this, but like with less of intensity, where the boss kind of puts the same rocks, just smaller amount just around them. In which case, you ideally want to go behind the boss to just continuously do attacks while you're waiting for this attack to actually happen. You can hit the tail, and at some point the boss will be unable to be hit, in which moment you want to sheath your weapon or something like that, right? Next is this weird dodge attack that the boss does, where he kind of just walks away, kind of like reposition. It does it a lot. This doesn't really mean anything. It's not going to do anything after like that. You should just do damage while the boss is doing this little movement, kind of follow them around. But after that, they usually will do a special attack. So be ready, just do a little damage and go into special sheath. Be ready for the next attack that the boss is going to do. And for the last thing is indeed the sacred attack that you can use while you're going back to the boss. If you faint, if something happens here in sacred, you can use this, you know, the dismount attack to actually dodge inwards and get yourself another gauge. It's very useful on the actual chart. It is so easy to actually evade it. I will heavily recommend for you to have pay attention to that. Remember that you can do that in case you're going in your sacred and you want to just do a bit more damage and get yourself into the red gauge instantly. And that's about it, guys. I'm gonna be doing this video again for Shia, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe I'll do it for every one of the bosses. I really enjoyed. It essentially helps me get better at the game anyways, as I'm a new player, so I need to go through and be like categorize every one of these attacks, every one of the situations, and everything of this. So hopefully this helped you. I will leave in the comments down below a link of all of the footage here of me evading each of these attacks, so it's easier for you to actually check it out if you want to. Yeah, so hopefully that helps you, and you know, that's about it. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Tell me if I got anything wrong. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning. See you guys around. Love you all. Bye bye.